All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a really fascinating question from the world of online content.
Okay, so let's start with a bit of a mystery. You've got these creators out there who are just quietly dominating YouTube. I mean, they're pulling in massive passive income from content that stays relevant for years. And the kicker? They do it all without ever showing their face. So what's their secret? Well, it turns out they all share a pretty specific formula.
So, to crack this code, we're diving into some amazing insights from YouTube expert Erkan Koltu. This guy sifted through over 250 different niches to find the absolute best of the best. And our goal here, together, is to piece together all the clues and finally uncover that secret formula that connects every single one of them.
Okay, let's jump right into our first big clue. And this one is all about simplifying something that's, well, usually not simple at all. We're starting in the finance niche. Typically pretty dense, kind of complicated stuff. But what we found is this absolutely brilliant strategy that uses a totally unexpected twist to make it incredibly simple and, believe it or not, fun.
Yep, you heard that right. Instead of bombarding you with complex charts and super dry data, these channels are using characters like the one you're seeing, monkeys and bananas, to explain really intricate financial topics like investing and the economy. It's just a genius move.
And the results? I mean, they're absolutely stunning. Just look at this. One channel pulled in almost 500,000 subscribers with only 20 videos. And because it's the finance niche, the revenue you get per 1,000 views is through the roof, which makes these channels wildly profitable with a surprisingly small amount of content.
So here's the first piece of our puzzle, right? Take a popular topic, maybe one that's a little intimidating for most people, and figure out how to make it simple, easy to get, and just uniquely entertaining. It's an incredibly powerful strategy, and it just unlocks a massive audience. All right, let's move on to our next set of clues. This time, it's all about visualizing stories. We're talking about taking raw information, whether it's from deep on the internet or from books, and completely transforming it into a visual experience that you just can't look away from.
So, this next niche, it's all about telling the really wild stories of internet history and digital culture. The kind of deep dives you can get lost in for hours. But the real secret here, the thing that makes it work, isn't just the topic. It's all about how they do it.
Yeah, the whole goal here is to use these cinematic storytelling techniques. They're aiming to make every single video feel like a top-tier Netflix documentary. It's not just some report, it's basically a movie. And that adds another absolutely critical layer to the formula we're uncovering. Okay, check out this next one. It provides just immense value by summarizing entire nonfiction books. They break down all the key concepts using these really simple, engaging drawings and animations. I mean, think about it. They're saving you hours and hours of reading time.
Now, what's really cool about this niche is how it targets a very specific, high-value audience. So instead of just chasing huge view counts, these channels are attracting people who are actively trying to improve themselves. And guess what? Sponsors are willing to pay a ton of money to reach that kind of engaged audience.
Okay, a pattern is definitely starting to emerge here, right? Our next set of clues really shows the incredible power of what we call evergreen content. Videos that are basically timeless. And they do it using super simple drawings and really deep dives into history.
You have got to see this next niche. It's fascinating. These channels are telling incredibly dramatic stories. We're talking historical tragedies, gripping survival tales, major world events, and they're doing it using nothing more than super simple, almost stick figure-like drawings. But don't let that simplicity fool you. These channels are absolutely exploding. Some of their videos get millions of views in just a few weeks. It seems kind of backward, doesn't it? So why on earth does this work so incredibly well?
Well, it comes down to a really cool psychological trick. When the visuals are this basic, your brain doesn't have to work hard at all to process them. This creates this really satisfying feeling of, oh, I get this, and it keeps you completely hooked on the story that's being told.
So, in a world that's obsessed with short-form content, this next niche proves that long, detailed, carefully researched videos still have a massive audience. These channels are creating these epic, in-depth history documentaries that can be an hour long or sometimes even longer. And that's because history is basically the ultimate evergreen topic. Think about it. A video you make today about the Roman Empire is going to be just as relevant 5, 10, even 20 years from now.
it becomes a true long-term asset that just keeps earning passive income year after year.
Okay, here we go. We have one last clue before we finally solve this mystery and reveal the formula. And this last one takes us right to the cutting edge of technology, combining that spirit of innovation with all the powerful principles we've already uncovered.
So these channels are tackling these huge, fascinating, often philosophical questions about artificial intelligence. Stuff like the nature of consciousness or the future of humanity. But here's the key. They do it with this powerful, emotional, almost film-like quality that just elevates the whole thing way beyond a simple explanation.
And what this shows is the massive appetite out there for content that isn't just informative, but it's also truly innovative and really connects on an emotional level. Okay, we have all our clues. It is time to put this puzzle together. So, from finance explained with monkeys to cinematic deep dives, all the way to AI philosophy. What is the one single powerful thread that ties every single one of these channels together and leads them to massive success?
The secret, it turns out, is surprisingly human. Yeah, even with no face on the screen, every single one of these niches is absolutely brilliant at creating a genuine, powerful connection with you, the viewer.
And they do it through powerful storytelling, by making complicated things simple, and by giving you immense, undeniable value. That is the secret.
The real takeaway here is that this formula isn't just some interesting observation, it's a real strategy. It proves that the most important part of creating amazing content isn't your face, it's the connection you build and the value you provide. So, the only question left is, what story are you going to tell? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.